On. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Real Time Wisdom Show with Joanna and Lainey. And you know what? I'm the Lainey, and Joanna's not here, but we have Cheryl Ryder. First off, before I even get into Cheryl being here, let's just send a little bit of avocados and mint to our Joanna tonight, who is feeling a tad bit under the weather. So we're wishing her well, and we're winging it. So my dog's been a little unwell. And so instead of me being normally at the spa, you get to see where I live on a 40-acre farm out here on the Gulf Coast of Florida. And I was having all sorts of internet issues within, I think, a couple minutes before we got started. I had the idea to hardwire in. So I think I've got a plan. And so here I am in Florida, and we have the amazing Cheryl Ryder here coming to us from, I'm not even going to say Albuquerque, New Mexico. What is it, Los Lunas, or where do we want to say where you're from?
Oh, sure. I'm actually in the village of Los Lunas, which is about 25 miles south of Albuquerque.
Okay, so Cheryl is here from New Mexico, where I used to live. Hi, Denise. Hi, Karen. Hi, Tony. Oh my goodness, Cheryl, you're going to meet some wonderful people here tonight. So let me explain what's going on before I get to gush and gush all over Cheryl Ryder being here. First off, tonight we're talking about and we kind of touched on this in the past. We've had Debbie Duncan on, and we've got this tarot class coming on, but a lot of us come from tarot, and Cheryl's going to bring up some great points tonight. And here we are with the Food Healing Oracle deck. And a lot of people still don't quite understand the difference between tarot. What is oracle? What is tarot? Which came first, the chicken or the egg? But we're going to, I think, identify a lot of those questions tonight and come into this. So I couldn't think of anybody better to help bring that lucidity, clarity, right? Bring some blueberries into this than to have Cheryl Ryder. So first off, Cheryl, people have probably heard your name because you've been doing something very special for the Food Healing Oracle deck. So do you have handy what you've been doing for us?
You know what? I was going to go grab a bag and I forgot. So,
Okay.
well, what we can do is, in a moment where you're talking, I will excuse myself and go grab one and come back.
All right. So, well, you know what? Most people know, but many of you who are watching are chakra totes. And I've been raving about this amazing shaman, this amazing tarot expert, one of my mentors who has been designing it. And now you all get to meet the designer extraordinaire, which that's like a side gig. She's got so many amazing talents. But Cheryl has brought her energy into the Food Healing Oracle deck in magical ways, and she's not done yet. So yes, the chakra totes that you all love are created by this woman. She's also head of the Albuquerque Tarot Tribe, which how many of you have now?
We're at 764 members now.
Yeah, amazing. So you helmed that. When I lived in New Mexico, I was part of the tribe, and I've gone to Cheryl's conferences. Whatever Cheryl's got going on, I'm going. She told me to go to New York to the Reader Studio. I went to New York. I go wherever this woman tells me to go. She's a wonderful human being, an incredible shaman, and she has a lot of wisdom to impart to all of you tonight. And it's the perfect prelude going into our class coming up this month, which is what is this kind of melting pot of tarot and the Food Healing Oracle deck. So that's my blurb. This amazing hour is going to be with Cheryl Ryder. I'm so excited. I can't stand it. So here we go. Cheryl, tell them a little bit in your words, a little bit about who you are, where you came from, what you do, and all your magical mushroom, wisdom that you're going to be sharing tonight.
I honestly don't think of myself that way, but I come from a hereditary family of psychics. It's been in the bloodlines for at least 200 years that we know of. In fact, I actually went to a psychiatrist when I was about 30 years old because I thought I was crazy. And I just happened to, this is kind of a funny story, I just happened to pick one who had been one of the designers of the Paranormal Institute psychic testing programs. And he asked me a couple of questions and he walked out of the room. And when he came back in the room, I said, I don't know why, but I'm thinking that, I saw a picture in his office, but it wasn't the right thing. I said, why do I keep thinking that that's supposed to be a picture of irises, not carnations? And he said, well, when I was out of the room, my mind was wandering and I was thinking that I should change that picture and bring the iris picture from home.
Wow.
So that's kind of how psychic mediumship runs in my family. And it was my grandmother who gave me my first deck of tarot cards when I was about 12 years old. And she said, throw away the book, look at the pictures and tell me a story. And that's how my tarot training began.
And that's how you taught me, by the way, many years ago. We kind of go back many years now. I remember you're saying, don't look at words. And you know what? I teach my students the same thing now. Forget there's a healing wisdom word. Look at the fruit. Look at the vegetable. What are you feeling and sensing? That came from you. I'm being attacked, by the way. I'm out in the jungle, and we have a cat here, a farm cat, who's part bobcat. And for some reason, she's enjoying the bug repellent I have on. Tony, we're going to have to talk about that. So she's trying to attack me. I'm trying to host a show here. All right, go on, Cheryl. So tell me.
So anyway, it went on. My actual formal training in tarot began about my training in tarot. I actually began to go to classes and work with other people. It began about 20 years ago with some people that were here in Albuquerque. And then they actually started the Tarot Tribe in 2009. And in about 2011, they decided they wanted to go do something else. So they said, Cheryl, would you take it over? So for the last 9 years, I've been the leader and builder of the Albuquerque Tarot Tribe. And what I try and do is bring in the best expansive tarot education that I can. And if I have an underlying philosophy in the way I teach tarot, I'm not teaching you tarot by Cheryl Ryder or for Cheryl Ryder or as Cheryl Ryder says. What I do is I'm kind of like the hermit. I hold up a lamp, I turn on the light, and I just say, look, and see what you see, and use what makes sense for you, and throw away what doesn't. And that's about as simple as my tarot teaching gets.
Well, what about your oracle teachings? Because you have, do you stay primarily in tarot, or do you dabble in both the worlds like a lot of us do? And by the way, thank you, Tony. There is catnip apparently in the bug spray I just put on. Now I see why I'm being savage. Oh my gosh. Okay, thank you. All right, oracle, because you have a lot of knowledge in both. So do you stay in one lane or the other, or do you mix?
I use them both because that is the magical thing about tarot. When the tarot that we know today, this is the Rider-Waite deck, it's an example, was designed. It was designed by the Golden Dawn Association back at the turn of the 20th century, in the early 1900s. It was designed to correspond with numerology, alchemy, astrology, and other oracles and the Jewish Kabbalah. So built into it is a natural interaction with other divination systems. And I personally like using oracles and tarot together.
Tonight we're going to be giving a little demonstration of that. I will love what you put together. I'm so excited to show everybody. I think their eyes are going to be like ding, and it's really going to give them an kind of a prelude into what we're going to be doing on the 25th. So answer me this for everybody. What came first, tarot or oracle?
I love that. That is a classic chicken and the egg question. And the answer is oracles came first. Because
oracles came first.
Oracles came first, yes. Human beings have been trying to divine their purpose and intent and future from the natural world since the first day a human being woke up and said, I recognize that there's a me in this body. So from the weather, from thunder, from rain, from animals, human beings have been able to determine certain messages or wisdom from those things. Paper didn't come along until the Chinese about 5,000 to 6,000 years ago. And tarot divination cards are only since about the mid 14th century.
Mm-hmm.
So oracles came first by a few million years.
Well, you know what's even older than Oracle, Cheryl?
Was
Food.
yes, it is.
Right?
Yes, it is.
That's what I said. I said tarot goes way back, but food has trumped even that. So bringing food to the forefront now and then combining it to Oracle. What do you think? You've seen a lot of decks, and not that I'm asking you to just, go on and on, but I would love your impression because it means a lot to me. And for someone who I've never known anyone who has more decks than you, who can travel both these dimensions, who can look at tarot, who can look at oracle. What did you think when you got the deck? Because it's a kind of a new concept, even though food has been here since the beginning, time.
I was thrilled. I absolutely loved it because you and Joanna and the other people on your team that created this deck just did a wonderful job of determining or sensing. Because I don't know how you did it, but you managed to get the essence of a food into a spiritual concept. And that correlation and that combination is just something I've never seen before. Uh-oh, I think we lost Lainey. Lainey, are you there? Well, I can't tell if I'm on here all by myself. So I'm just hoping that Lainey's internet problem is going to clear itself up here in just a minute. And unfortunately, I don't think there's any way you can talk to me. Ah, yes. Well, if I can see the chat questions, I can talk, I suppose, until Lainey comes back. Or did it all go? Linda, thank you for letting me know that you can hear me. Well, one of the things that Lainey and I were going to talk about was how can you use tarot and oracles together. And so I guess I'm going to go ahead and thank you, Karen. I'm going to go ahead and just tell you what Lainey and I were going to talk about was the way I like to use oracle and tarot together is if I'm using one as the main body of my reading, like I have a question, I'm going to use multiple cards. Ah, Lainey's back again. I was just kind of keeping everybody entertained while you
I
came
knew
back.
you would. And here I am on a hard wire, so now I don't know. And Mercury you said Mars is in retrograde?
Well, Mars was in retrograde in Aries, but I hope it's coming out.
Keep going, Cheryl. And then I want to move over to, when we're done, I want to move over to the your presentation.
Well, actually, I was just going to give them a hint of it. So,
okay, perfect.
We'll go ahead and put that on hold and go back with what you had in mind.
Oh, okay. You want me to pull it up?
Well, yeah, sure.
All right, here we go. I think this is brilliant. And this is great because if I do conk out again, you can just go to it. So
okay.
What are we looking at?
That's perfect. So what I was just literally on the verge of saying was that I use oracle cards and tarot in two different ways. One way is to do a spread in tarot and then pull one oracle card to give me a clear, almost distilled point of wisdom about it. And the second way, which we'll see in a few minutes, is to do a spread of oracle cards and then pull one tarot card for it was commentary.
So flip it.
Yeah, I sort of flip it. So here what I've done is you can see from left to right, actually the top left, the question I asked, and I thought I picked this question because I know many of you are taking the certification classes and you're thinking about building a healing business or a card reading business or something in the energy movement field. So I asked the question, what is involved in building my healing clientele? What do I need to know? What do I need to feel? What do I need to do? And what do I need to believe? And I picked those four questions. because they correlate with the tarot's swords, which is about knowledge and intellect, cups, which is about feeling and emotions, pentacles, which is about life, living and doing, and the wands, which is about our belief systems and passions. So you can see the 4 cards that I drew. So what do I need to know is the 7 of Swords. And that says that I'm carrying a burden of a lot of thinking. I'm really carrying a burden of a lot of thinking, and I need to deal with that. What do I need to feel? And you can see the character there in the card. He seems to be sort of in mourning over a lot of spilt stuff. You know, the cups that he's looking at are all tilted over, a lot of spilt stuff.
5 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups, yeah.
5 of Cups. The next card in the middle is the 7 of Pentacles. What you see there is a gardener who seems to be resting on his hoe, sort of regarding the planting that he's been doing that seems to be either flowering or coming into fruit. The 4th card is the King of Wands, which represents the major mindful discipline of the creative passion. The last card, which I call Spirit Guidance, is the Star card, which represents hope and inspiration. And it also represents fertility because she's pouring water out on a barren ground and it's blooming. So if I was to put this all in one quick reading, I'd say I need to stop overthinking everything. I need to stop mourning over stuff that's gone. I need to rest. In other words, I've been working way, way too hard. I need to stop and rest and let my plantings grow, let them do what they're designed to do. And the 4th card is I really need to get a handle on my passions, my creative, and get it focused. And the last card is to trust that Spirit's taking me in the right direction. So that's the tarot reading.
No, and it's great because using the fertility card, I mean, you can also not only use it as the healing wisdom word, fertility, new beginnings, but also it can be used as the food itself, is to anchor in what your question is and where you're going with it, and kind of the end result. It's a wonderful physical earth element to anchor in that energy. And you're saying do it now. Well, doing it now is like bringing it from the ethereal into the physical.
Right. So in this particular reading, first I laid out the tarot cards, and then I drew the oracle card to give me the overarching, clear, single-pointed, focused message. And Spirit came up in the tail card and said, "Do it now. It's a fertile time to get sorted." And you notice that card appeared directly over the 7 of Pentacles, which is the gardener who's planted and worked his field. So there is a synchronicity between
you can't make this up.
You cannot make that up. And I did this reading as I was creating this handout. So it wasn't anything, I didn't pre-plan it. This is exactly the cards that came up as I was doing this.
Well, and I love that you also, and we don't need to get into today because we'll probably do that more on the class, but we will talk more about major arcana in minor, in minor, and how the Food Healing Oracle deck is playing a significant role in determining what we have associated with the major arcana. It's just amazing. Does anybody have any questions, by the way? You are welcome to ask Cheryl and myself while we're moving along. This is a really good time to get some tarot questions answered. And if you do need to understand how tarot and oracle work and synergize together. So now conversely, do we want to move in and show them the second one? Because now you kind of did the flip. Yeah?
Sure, why not?
Okay. And again, Karen's saying, my grandmother taught me tarot when I was 3 years old. So there are a lot of people like myself, 4th generation. We both come from lineages where it just came in and has been with us. And other people have kind of accessed that if they've kind of cleared and done their work in the world and attuned more. And that's what we help them try to do in the certification programs. I know you'll be with us Friday. And it's very interesting, Cheryl. So there's this idea that people like you, people like me, people who've come into this, have lived, we've got this sort of esoteric energy healers, people who read cards all the time. And then we have this whole group of people who are health coaches, nutritionists, personal trainers. And there's kind of a two-prong approach to this. We kind of got the spiritual tarot readers and the oracle cards. But what's interesting is a lot of them may not know all the nutrition and know the physicality of this. And then all this other group are now learning how to psychic activation, intuition, like they're learning other aspects to themselves. So it's so great putting everybody together and everyone learns from one another. That's what makes these certification programs so exquisite. And I think that's what's so needed, is that we all have this holistic way of working together. All right. Let me find that presentation again. Tell me when it's on screen. Can you see it?
Yeah.
All right. Conversely, bring it.
All right. So, by the way, I did these readings using the Food Healing app on my iPhone, which I think is just turn it in the right direction. There we go. So I use the app on my iPhone. So I just love this. I can't always carry a tarot deck and a food healing deck around in my purse because I have a little purse. So it's really nice to have them here on my phone.
So can you see, is the screen up that people can see it? I just can't tell from mine.
Yeah, there's a little bit from the top off, but that's okay.
Okay.
So what I did here was, it blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. I shouldn't be blown away. Here I am, I'm 72 years old as of last week, and I've been doing this since I was 17, and things still blow me away. So I asked the same question: what's going to be involved in building my healing business? What do I need to know and feel and do and believe? And I used the 4-card reading off of Lainey's and Joanna's app. And the first card that came up for situation was the artichoke, meaning forgiveness. So this sort of drilling it down is forgive yourself and others for all the things that you hold yourself accountable for. And the second card was the challenge. I went down to the challenge and I got basil. And basil was about releasing what is blocking you. Yep. So if you're not, this is where it makes sense. If you're not forgiving yourself, if you're holding a grudge on yourself or anybody else, you are blocked. So right away, the challenge is to deal with those blockages. The positive influence came up as pineapple, which is expansion. So I just kind of picked up some keywords to put in the presentation here. So I wrote to expand the greatest truth of your soul for the uplifting of yourself and others, which is what? It's a wonderful process of releasing what's blocking you.
That was actually our card of the day today, was pineapple. So to see it again is telling me something very much.
And then the outcome or potential outcome was cherries, which means community. So life is what you make of it. Join a community of, I meant to write like-minded, but it came out life-minded souls, which I think is a Freudian slip. Perfect.
Exactly.
And you build one of your own. But isn't it interesting that as healers, we build a community amongst ourselves and amongst the people that we are with? So it was so perfect that the question was, how do I build my healing business, my healing clientele? And the potential outcome is the community. And so then I asked the tarot to comment. And what I do is I just draw a single card. And what I pulled was the Tarot Major Arcana Strength card. And the message came through to me is trust in your abilities and have self-confidence. Because if we don't trust ourselves, then we can't accomplish any of it. We have to come from a place of trust and confidence. And isn't it amazing how this reading, even though the majority of it was the oracle cards, almost danced step for step with the other reading with the tarot cards. The two of them were just so synchronous. And that's the magic of working with tarot and oracle together.
That's the magic. That was so fantastic to do one way or the other, and it all comes into like one accord. And, you know, just a little sneak peek, because we know we have our, and by the way, I did put that inside of the comment section, our class on tarot and the Food Healing Oracle deck. Cheryl pulled the final commentary card of tarot was the Strength card, right? A major arcana. We will discuss what that is in just a bit. So doesn't the Food Healing Oracle deck have a Strength card? Yes, we do, right? Popeye, spinach. So we do have that Strength card as well. And some are obvious, but there are many that aren't. And we're going to show you what all that interweaving is, because that's what it is. And that's what, you know, that's what we try to teach people, Cheryl. I know that you have lots of modalities. Lots of us have many different modalities. I did a tuning fork session last night. And I was checking out my clients' chakras to see what was blocked. And I went ahead and pulled cards on which chakras were blocked before I did the tuning fork session. And then afterwards, I pulled cards again to see what those chakras were once we opened them. And it just goes to show it doesn't matter if you're doing tarot and oracle and you have mixing cards together, or you're doing Reiki and Food Healing Oracle deck, or you're doing anything. It all works together when you can tune in to kind of that higher wisdom, that connection to source. Don't you think?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you still go into the idea that people prefer one or the other? Or are people starting to feel like they all work in tandem? Because you know, having 800 people almost, you see a lot in your group.
The truth is, Lainey, everybody has their own really affinity to one way or the other.
Yeah.
I tend to find it's sort of a division. There are people that like angel decks, and they like Lenormand decks, and they like Kipper decks, and they like just general oracle decks. And then there are folks that are absolute tarot people, and they don't like the other one.
Yeah, they're very kind of in their lane.
And what I like to do with my group is I like to always expose them to something new. Yeah, I know you never used this before, but let's have a look at it. So that's what my Saturday monthly tarot meetups are at the Albuquerque Tarot Tribe on meetup.com. And we explore other things that could be connected with tarot. So we look at tarot and we look at the correspondences and how they work together.
I just had a dragonfly go by. I'm sure that means something. In tarot, and lots of people have told me this, and I've experienced that when I was growing up. Why has tarot been so scary in terms of the pictures depicted? Because you don't see scary so much unless it's intended so in oracle. You may see, like, you know, a dark deck on purpose. But for the most part, it's a little bit lighter. Is it? Do you feel that way? Or I don't know. I used to be so spooked from the Rider-Waite deck, you know, the devil and power. But, you know, now I embrace it all because I understand it a lot better. But I still believe my clients tell me all the time that they're afraid of tarot readings because they're so spooked by the cards. And is your deck like that? No, it's food. It's happy. You know, there's a few things to be, you know, look at, but it's not like that.
So modern tarot is used as a tool for self-discovery. It's not a tool so much of fortune telling where you sit down and somebody says, oh, they pulled a devil card and you're gonna, you know, the devil's gonna get you, or you pull a devil card, you go, oh, you're gonna die, or the tower called and your house is gonna flip. It's none of that. Nowadays, it's about discovering for yourself what maybe options are that you haven't looked at before. Thinking processes that you have, habitual thinking processes that you have that are no longer serving you. It's time to clarify. It's time to purify. It's time to get rid of that stuff, to use food healing decks. So, and the cards, if they are at all scary, it's because they're evoking something from our own subconscious that we've suppressed or hidden. It's a shadow, something that we need to bring up into the light of the sun. And we need to sort of what do you want to call it? Not dismember it, but dissipate it. It's just boogeyman.
Transmute it. Transmute
Transmute
it.
it, transform it into light and love, so that whatever gifts it brings can be available to us to use, in our daily lives.
That would be our asparagus card. All right. So we have about a half hour left. And so what we thought we would do is a couple things. First off, somebody tonight, we do have our Wheel of Fortune coming, right? Wheel of Fortune is in tarot, so that's fitting. But we do have our wheel, and somebody's going to win a free spot in our October 25th class, Tarot Major Arcana. So if you want that, stick around to the end. We'll be drawing that towards the end. But between now and then, Cheryl and I are going to have some fun. We're going to be doing some playing. Just like you saw in her demonstration, we wove together, she wove together tarot and the food healing. If you have a particular question, Cheryl is so graciously offering to answer it by tarot, and I will support it by food healing oracle deck. Or on the flip side, I may answer it with the food healing oracle deck, and she may follow up with the card from the tarot. So does that sound like a plan? So the way we're not giving, 4-card spreads and 5-card spreads. We're pulling one card, okay? So these are very brief, and there's a few of you here tonight. And so if you have a specific question, we welcome you to ask. And or if you don't have, you could just say for the highest good, whatever it is. But we're here to be of service and support you and show you how well tarot and the food healing oracle that works together, if you haven't already seen it with those wonderful presentations from Cheryl. So if you have a question, specific or vague or general, or what is in my highest good, you are going to get 2 cards pulled, one from me, one from Cheryl. So if you have that, go ahead and put it in the comment section, and I'll put it up for Cheryl and for me to support you. I would like to, and I don't even know if she's here because I know she's resting, but I think we should pull a card for Joanna. How's that? Just to send her a little love and light, and then while we're doing that, you all can be putting your questions in. How's that? So Karen, we'll get to you next. We're going to pull a card for Joanna, and then Karen, and then Denise, and then Linda. All right, they're getting their questions going. So how about you go first, Cheryl, and then I will follow up with the food healing, and then we'll switch.
Spirit always gives us the perfect thing that we need. And so the card that I drew is the Ace of Cups, which is the ultimate in overflowing love and light for Joanna.
Perfect. All right. Well, I pulled for Joanna. Ready for this? Health. Mint. And we said at the beginning of our class tonight, or our program, let's see, I got to make sure we can get it, that we're sending her avocados and we're sending her mint. So I'm actually thinking mint tea is going to be perfect for what is bothering you right now. So mint tea is on deck for you, my lovey. So if you're watching this, great. And if not, I'm going to follow up with you later. So that's how this is going to roll, okay? Now I'm going to switch over, and then I will now have, I'm going to do Karen's card, and then Cheryl will follow up. How's that? All right, so we've got Karen. Let me go ahead and put this on screen for you, Cheryl. Karen Cavallo wants to know, what does Spirit see as my highest good? I'm pulling a card for Karen, and Karen got watermelon release. Okay, so for me, I'm just going to sense a little bit of Karen. There's a little releasing some expectations, like should have, would have, could have, I should be this, I should be that. This is releasing any sort of preconceptions and being very present with the energy that is wanting to give you a message clear in the present day, in the present moment. Cheryl.
And the tarot card is the 4 of Cups, which says to take time to rest, clear your mind, and then let Spirit inform you of what is for your highest good.
I swear Cheryl and I did not plan this. This is like really good, Cheryl. So listen to that release meditation, Karen, and those 2 cards are perfecto. All right, let's switch. Denise Flood wants to know for her highest good, Cheryl, and I'll back you up. Denise Flood for her highest good.
Denise Flood for the highest good. Well, let's see. Ah, now this is a very interesting card. Let me get this. Yep, there we go.
Yeah, good.
There we
Good.
go. So we got the Page of Cups. Now, do you remember that for Karen, we showed the Four of Cups, which is the young person sitting under the tree
Yep.
and in a meditative state, and the hand came out of the clouds with the cup, offering information. Here we have a young man holding the cup, and the fish is rising up the cup, out of the cup, more or less talking to him.
Lift it a
So
little higher, Cheryl. There you go. You got it, baby.
so the water represents the subconscious mind, and the fish coming up out of it to speak to you is listen to your own wisdom, which has been subconscious. Give it some time to talk to you. We have within you all that you need.
Perfect. Denise, I pulled for you lemons, alchemy, and just what Cheryl has says, you already have all the components, and taking them all together and putting them into a congruent source of positivity for you. It's like you have all these things. It's like moving it all into a funnel. It's almost like when we, making that lemonade out of the lemons, but it's really taking that time. So this is about alchemy, bringing all the parts together. Cheryl, we could take this on the road. This is fun. All right. So, all right. Thank you, Denise. I hope that was good. We have Linda. So Linda is asking, am I being careless about flying and traveling with COVID? So I'll pull a card for you, Linda. And that's very interesting. I'm actually, hey, you can pull a card for me after this, or I'm with Linda, but I'm supposed to be in Albuquerque next Monday. And to see my mother and to see you, Cheryl, and whoever else I could see. And I'm very much on the fence about not going. So I am with you on this question, Linda. My current thought is to not go. But am I being careless about flying and traveling? And this is a very interesting card, empowerment. Okay. So the perfect card actually to get is this empowerment card, is to stick to your own intuition, is to empower yourself with the knowledge of what you know and feel to be true, get all the information that you need, and be able to make those informed decisions when you are empowered. And I always use the expression, until my body lights up like a Christmas tree, I don't do it. When in doubt, don't do. So I wait for the signal. I wait for the sign. And yeah, I draw a lot of cards. So you got the empowerment. Am I being careless? I don't think you're being careless. I think you need to just have more confidence and empowered in your decision making. Cheryl.
Well, isn't it funny that the card that I drew here is the World card, which is the empowered fool. So here we have the World card holding the signs of her power, and then from all the different four corners are the sources of the wisdom. And and she's midair, so she is flying. So don't be careless. Be careful when you fly. If you have to, make sure you're flying it for the right reasons, and take all the precautions you need, which is the expression of your empowerment.
I love that. Do you mind pulling a card for me right now on that same question about Albuquerque? Because I have to go, but I'm feeling not clear.
Well, this is the Queen of Pentacles, which is me and my physical manifestation.
Thank you. That's all I need to see. Okay. I really hope you all, if you don't know anything about tarot, this is a really good time to start learning about tarot, because you mentioned something earlier, and we'll continue doing cards for everybody. But you mentioned off air, we were discussing about action oriented. Do you want to just maybe touch on that for a second? How tarot's a little bit of like telling you what to do, or it's driving you more so that oracle's a little bit more of a, just that distinction, I think is good for people to hear it from you.
Sure. The reason why I was talking about that is that, and I just picked an exemplar card here, is that the Rider-Waite Tarot was not the very first deck to ever be drawn with all of the cards being illustrated with people. but it was the first deck, I think, to be drawn with illustrated with people where it was easy to recognize what was going on in the card. So this
Yeah.
deck in particular, and many of the decks that are based on its design, show people living life. There's people in various aspects of life. They're working, they're sleeping, they're walking, they're interacting, they're in management, they're low levels, they're just sitting and doing with symbols. So it's a wonderful way of thinking about the things that we do in life and the things we and the way we think about things, and kind of getting our heads straight about how we want to accomplish what we want, or to express the gifts we were born to. Does that make
Beautiful.
sense?
Yeah. Does that make sense for everyone listening? We'll touch more on it as we go through this, because especially on class coming up. All right, let's get back to it. This is really fun. By the way, I see Cheryl Friedman is here. Cheryl, I highly recommend you you came a little later to catch the replay. Cheryl Friedman, Cheryl Ryder, of course you all know each other. Cheryl, go back and look at the replay of this, because Cheryl Ryder presented 2 fabulous presentations of readings using tarot and oracle, primary of tarot, and then the flip side, primary food healing oracle deck with the tarot. Fascinating. And even Cheryl Ryder said, mind blown, right? And that app is so handy. I tell people all the time, if you're waiting for the deck, hop on the app. Someone wrote to us today and wanted to, they bought a deck from France. We're starting to have a lot of international attention. And I said, and meanwhile, why don't you grab the app while you're waiting to get the deck? She was thrilled. All right, let's continue. Who is next? Let's see. We have Tony. Tony Wangle. She's a dear friend. Tony, and she uses the Food Healing Oracle deck. She's a certified reader. Thursday night, she does a live. She pulls cards for people. She's fantastic. All right, Tony, please pull a card for my highest good. So are you first, Cheryl, and then I'm following up, I think, or the opposite? Yeah.
Well, here we have one of those scary cards that Lainey was talking about earlier. It's the Tower card.
Interesting.
So, well, that's interesting. We have card for the highest card and the highest good. So many people think that the Tower card, is about chaos and confusion, and more realistically, it is about having an epiphany. See that lightning bolt coming in and knocking off the crown of the tower. It's about having that sudden influx of enlightenment that just makes you let go of all the old stuff you've been holding on to. And you don't just let go of it, you put it out the window, because now you are enlightened and you are ready to move forward in your path.
That was so spot on. I'm laughing inside, and I've got clarity. So Tony's got clarity with the blueberry card, right? Are you okay, good. I thought she was frozen. So what she's saying is, look at all the things that are falling away if you look at the tarot, and get clear on that which speaks to you at the highest. What is your highest vibrational message coming in? Because you're getting clearer, and the clarity is showing up. And so, yeah, things have to move away. And sometimes we get comfortable, and sometimes spirit and life shakes things up, like the tower, and moves things up a little bit, and helps you get clear. If you're not ready to get clear on your own, spirit will provide that clarity for you. All right.
Can I address a quick payment? Karen wrote, she tells people that tarot isn't a definite, it's what could happen if you continue on the path you're on. And I like that. A friend of mine, Teresa Reed, the tarot lady up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, her tagline literally is, the cards tell a story, you write the ending. And
I love Teresa. She was on my radio show.
Great. So the cards tell a story, you write the ending. So the cards are not laying out a concrete path. They're just sort of letting you know what's going on right now, and then they help you figure out what it is you really want to do.
Beautiful. Okay, by the way, Linda Baltus says, thank you. I know my body's strong and I know we'll be perfectly fine. I know that as well. So awesome. Okay, so yes, my fellow graphic artists. Okay, I want us to go in order. I know we have a few more and I want to make sure somebody gets a free ticket to our tarot class coming up. Okay, so we did Tony, we did Joanna, we did, I think we have Joan Derrick Haycox is next. Okay, so card please for my purpose in the present. So I'll go ahead and pull that and then Cheryl will follow up with the tarot. Joan took our certification program. I can't wait, Cheryl. You're going to be here. We're going to be hanging out this weekend in the certification. By the way, one more spot. Are you the person who's supposed to be filling it? Let us know. We are excited. We always know Spirit makes the schedule. So if we go with 9, we go with 9. If that 10th person comes in, great. But Joan took the class. Her highest card her highest good right now is Grace. Pears. And I'm actually even thinking that maybe to eat the pears. But this is about going grace, go with God, allowing the grace. There's no bucking the system. There's no push energy. There's no push back. Allow the flow to just be in grace. Everything is going to sort itself out and show you with blueberries what is going on. But this is about having that grace where we don't have to be that strong in control. We need to be the divine feminine. This is a very divine feminine card. Notice the flower. Okay. This is about having that ability to like wait for the information. Like I said before, like lighting up like a Christmas tree, allowing grace to come in through spirit and provide you next steps. Cheryl.
I love it. So we have the moon card. And so here we have the moon, which is representative of the planetary body that represents the divine feminine. And the moon card is about listening to and developing and using your intuition. And I remember Joan, Lainey said that Joan is a certified reader. Yes.
Well, yeah. She's getting certified, but she took the program. Yeah.
She's getting certified, took the program. So
we want her to get finished certified.
So this card is a confirmation of that pathway. You have stepped through on the path, and you are on your way, and keep doing that.
Beautiful. Excellent. Yay. Okay, we have time for a couple more, and then we're going to spin the wheel. All right, so did we get everybody? I think we have one more, and if I missed you, please put your name down. One more is Melissa Peshka. I'd love a card for her business endeavor. All right, Cheryl, she'd love a card.
A card for business endeavor. Okay, the card we have here is the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords tells you that life is a journey, the business is a journey, and it says to gather your thinking. The boat has 6 swords in it. So look at 6 things around your business that you really need to think about and plan and manage. And remember that there's always going to be some rough waters, and with forward motion, that's what the driver here with the pole, he's driving it forward. Just always keep moving forward.
Beautiful. Well, Cheryl and I are very aligned tonight. I got the cucumber card, which is balance. So when you're on that boat, you have to stay in balance. So, turn around. You have to stay in balance for the boat to go forward. Otherwise, it will tip. You'll get water into it. Keep moving forward, but remember the balance. It's not overdoing it one way or the other. It's staying the course, just like her card is showing, okay? This is the perfect card for that. We've got cucumbers here. She's got swords, but both is saying stay the course, stay in balance. If anything feels like it's pulling on you, it's because it is. Take note and then reassign the course, okay? All right. Wow. So Joan is saying, beautiful as I live and love into my sacred feminine. Really getting that. And I have to say, I go straight to the Archangels and Ascended Masters class that Joanna and I just taught. And we have a big list. We are going to move this to January, a second one. It's so profound, and that card comes up a lot. In that card, actually, we're making smoothies related to that topic in our book, our upcoming smoothie book. But it's really important. I teach that a lot, and you'll hear about that this weekend with the elements, Cheryl, is that the whole divine masculine and feminine is so important. We can't just be doing. We gotta balance, right? Cucumbers, thank you, Melissa. Really balance those energies for everything to move forward. Any other thoughts, Cheryl? I think we got everybody, which is great.
It was just something that popped into my mind when you said what you were talking about. We have to be in balance. There was a fellow many years ago by the name of Leo Buscaglia, and he had a show on PBS, and it was about counseling. And he talked about counseling and people being crazy. And he always talked about how people drove themselves crazy because they were trying to do so much. He says, we're not human doings, we're human beings. He says, so take time, stop doing, and just rest, meditate, think, pray, whatever it is you do, and just
eat, pray, love. So true. Wow, I say that a lot, and in the certification course, I really emphasize the doing and the being. There's a lot of concentration on that. All right, so a couple announcements, and then we're going to pull a winner. And by the way, if you don't win a spot, you can take a spot. It's a 3-hour class on October 25th. We're going to be taking 22 of our cards and 22 of the major arcana, and we're going to be discussing the love connection between the two and how you can work with both of these sets of cards, or one or the other, or have those energies in mind, because there's a lot to share with you. That's why it's 3 hours. All right. How many of you, and I would love your comment, Linda Baltus, I said that saying just today. There you go. How many of you are interested in what we're going to share? I would love your comments, because Cheryl Ryder needs to know this. So we know Cheryl has been creating these incredible chakra totes. The energies of those beautiful chakras are going right into our bag. If you're working on your root, if you're working on your your third eye, you're working on your solar plexus, you get those colors, and those cards are helping to energize. But brilliant Cheryl Ryder is now concocting something wonderful for us. Should we talk about what our mat is going to be? Should we talk about what that is? Go for it. You go first, and then I'll add.
Well, it's still in the development. And thank you to Cheryl Friedman, who put together the graphic for this.
Yay, Cheryl Powers, Cheryl squared, you two.
She put my concept and she put it into a graphic that is the size that we can go to a custom digital fabric printing company and have these printed up. And so I'm excited because tomorrow morning I'm going to go to my local printer, which has printed out a test copy of it, so I get to see what it looks like in full size. And so it's going to have what it's going to be. It's a field of white satin. It's going to have the food healing fruit and vegetable heart in the center, sort of in a very pale, transparent thing. And then we'll hem around the edges, and it'll be a reading mat for your cards.
A reader's mat, right? You have a sacred mat to lay out your card spread. Customized food healing oracle deck style from the amazing Cheryl Ryder. So yes, thank you for the assist, Cheryl Friedman. We're so excited for this to come into fruition. When it'll be here, we don't know, but you will be the first to know. And we're excited to bring these mats out to you, because it's so, you can put things down, but generally you want to put a sacred surface down, and to really kind of define the space, design the container. And these mats are going to be fantastic. And they're going to be made with such love from Cheryl, just like the chakra totes. So that's for sure. Okay, so I think we'll pull a winner, and then I'll have a couple other announcements. By the way, of course, you all know I do readings full-time as well. So if you want a reading, I did announce it in the newsletter, month of October. A reading with me or Joanna is $25 off. So if you're interested in a full private reading, we have those. Cheryl, are you doing private readings?
I do private readings. People can contact me through the message service of the Albuquerque Tarot Tribe through meetup.com.
Perfect.
And membership in my group is totally free, and we only ask a donation if people attend the meetings, which are all on Zoom now. So anybody who wants to learn tarot, any skill, no skill, some
Wait.
skill, skill, just join me on
Sure.
meetup.com with Albuquerque Tarot Tribe.
Perfect. Okay, so Cheryl, I'm going to need your help because when I go over to the wheel, I cannot see who's here except by memory. But if you can help me, are you able to see the names?
I can see the people who have made comments, but I can't see the names of who's actually here.
All right, let me see if I can use a good sense of who's here. If I miss somebody, let me know. But I'm going to move over and I'm going to put in as many people as I can think of. Karen Cavallo, Cheryl Friedman, Denise Flood. And by the way, if you can't come, let me know and I'll take your name off, okay? So it's Sunday, October 25th from 1 to 4. And so if you cannot come, I will take you off so someone else can win. So I have Karen Cavallo, Cheryl Friedman, Denise Flood, Melissa Peshka, Tony Wingle, Joan Derrig, Peacocks, and I think we have Linda Baltus. Am I forgetting anybody? Do I have everybody's name and that you can come? Did I forget anybody? I think I got everybody. Oh, Tamara. Yep, Tamara. Got Tamara in here. Some of you are already registered. And so you can either choose to gift this to somebody or however you want to do it. So, all right. Is there anybody else that I got Karen? Laura? Is Laura here? Is this class in person? It's on Zoom. It's on Zoom. And it's going to be phenomenal. You're going to look at, I always say, you'll never look at foods the same way again. You will never look at the Food Healing Oracle deck again, especially as you learn more about tarot. Okay, I think I got everybody. I don't know. Oh, Laura McKinney. Yes, of course, gorgeous. Here we go. Okay, do I have everybody now? I would love you all to come to this class. Joanne and I are thrilled to be teaching it. Okay, so I think I got everybody. Let me see if I can get the screen on so you can see the wheel of names. Okay. And you are absolutely welcome to join us for the fun of it if you want, Cheryl, by all means. I don't even have to put you on this list. Okay, I think I got everybody. If I spelled your name wrong, that's because I was typing fast. I was trying to stay in our hour. Okay, good luck. Here we go. And the winner is Melissa Peshka. I'm telling you, this girl wins a lot. She's got to be, going to the lottery or something's going on with her. She's always winning. It's amazing. Congratulations, Melissa. You have won a free pass to our October 25th Tarot and Major Arcana in the Food Healing Oracle deck. Okay, we only have a couple more minutes. We have one more spot for this Friday and Saturday for our certification class. And I love that you said it by accident, but there's no accident, Cheryl. You called it tarot. Tarot. Is that what you said? Tarot? We were trying to combine the words?
Yeah, the word, they kind of came out of my mouth combined. It was a tarot.
Tarot. Oh my gosh. Well, hey, I'm going to draw a card for you. You drew a card for me, and then we're going to call it good.
All right.
All right. Well, one fell on the ground, and I'm trying to pick it up. So let me see what it is. Oh, yes. Cheryl, it's mushrooms magic. This was a magical show, and I love that, as we go, we do everything unscripted, in the flow, following energy. Thank you for a magical impromptu. We didn't know Joanna was going to be here. We didn't even know we were going to be doing this. You're magic to me. You're magic to everything you're bringing to this deck and everything. You are. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody here. I really enjoyed that you were here. And even though I can't see you, I could feel you. And so thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for being here. We're right on time. And other than probably a million mosquito bites, even though I tried to put on the spray that now I find out had catnip and I've been attacked, I'm going to say that it was worth it. Cheryl, thank you. We'd love to have you back. And if you ever want to pop in, and I'm going to see you this weekend because Cheryl is taking the class, okay? So join us if you want, Friday and Saturday. We have one spot left, and we will work with you to make it happen. All right. Thanks so much, says Tony. Great show. Have a great night, everyone. All right. Blessings, everyone. Be well. Take care. Stay with me, Cheryl. All right. Bye.